Welcome to my Eldar Tactica. This is for Eldar Wraithlords. As mentioned in the other Eldar Tactica videos, the Eldar army lacks a bit of strength and toughness, but if you take Wraithlords, that certainly changes things. That adds the toughness that you need to your Eldar army. You're looking at strength 10 and toughness 8. It's like taking a tank, except it has 3 wounds, and you get that ballistic skill 4, which is really helpful. So the configuration that I would take on my Wraithlords, they're cheap enough in points, only 100 points. I pay the 40 points, I get the Bright Lance, it enables me to take on any armoured target I want to. So it's like a tank, you hide it behind cover and you've got a sniping tank as a good unit choice. And then I take the sword, because I want it to be reliable in combat. I use them for combat as well. The sword means that you get to reroll your misses, which is really helpful. So that's the configuration that I take. Now, usually in the Eldar army, I will take 2, if not 3 Wraithlords. And you'll notice on this one, I've left off the Bright Lance. Sometimes I'll choose just a 100-point Wraithlord, and he's just to go on a suicide mission. He's to run forwards to distract the enemy, or go chase after a vehicle, or run at the enemy objective. So he's not going to be shooting when he's running all the time, so I don't bother giving him the weapon. But that's usually not the case. Usually I'll take all 3. So all 3 will have the Bright Lance, so I'll just add in, I'll just put a pin there, so I'll just add that on like that. They are intimidating. Your opponent's not going to like you having. So usually I'll take 3, and they can act as an area denial unit. What I mean by that is, where you place your Wraithlord, usually the opponent is not going to want to go within 12 inches of that area, unless he wants to be taken on by this guy. So they're good for holding the enemy away, keeping him at arm's length. If the opponent's trying to rush at you with a load of tanks, you move your Wraithlords forwards and he's going to hold back. And if anything, Wraithlords can act as a delay to an enemy attack. They will slow him down, hold him back, and then as the turns of the game go on, it keeps them away from your objectives. And that's half the battle. If you can keep them away from your objectives, you can't take them, and you will win the game. So sometimes I'll keep 2 back to defend, and then I'll send 1 forwards. Not running forwards, just moving up slowly but surely, 6 inches a turn towards an enemy objective. And then towards the end of the game, turns 5, 6, 7, there's a threat, a big tough threat on his objective. There's no invuln save on them, so it's worth getting them behind cover and shooting from there, keeping them alive. Usually if I can keep my Wraithlords alive until the end of the game, then will be pretty comfortable, pretty confident in getting a win. That's the type of unit that if it's alive at the end, then you're going to do well. Now some say, well, take the Psychers to keep them motivated, because on a roll of a 1, if there isn't a Warlock or Farseer within 6 inches on a roll of a 1, then they'll just stand still for a whole turn. I don't like doing that. I don't want to be restricted by that in my games, so usually I'll take the Wraithlords and not worry about that rule. I'll just roll a 2+ every turn. Sometimes, occasionally, they're going to stand still and do nothing, but when you've got 2 or 3 of them, then you can compensate for that. And I would use them diagonally, keeping them together so they can support each other. If one goes silent or one gets called out in combat, then the others can come in and help. And working together, they are very tough, and not particularly expensive to have all 3. So if you're an Eldar player and you're worried about getting blown away by your opponent, you want some toughness in your army, then just take Wraithlords. I'd rate those higher than the Eldar tanks. You've got it's like a tank, but it can fight back in close combat with a humongous sword, so that's why I go for them, and usually a lot cheaper than a tank as well. The only thing is speed, but speed would be covered by other parts of my Eldar force. So I don't want these to be fast, they don't need to be fast, they're just designed to sit there, to shoot and to protect, and they do that job pretty good. Okay, so we've got a scenario here. You're defending your objective of your Wraithlords, and look what turns up. It's a unit of 5 assault Terminators. They'll present trouble to you, but because you've got the Wraithlords you can fight back. So let's say I have 2 Wraithlords defending the objective. So there's 2, and the way I would use them, let's say that they activate on 2+, they're available. Move one in, move the other one in. The weapons under the arms that I would take would always be flamers. Shuriken guns, what's the point in taking those? Waste of time. Flamers, much better. Much better for clearing out light infantry, and then when you've got a target like this you want to douse them in flames, you might be able to take a few out. So I wouldn't fire the bright lance, usually I go for flamer. So look, 5 covered there, there's 2 flamers, so that's 10 hits straight away. And it's strength 4, so you'll be able to get a reasonable amount of hits there. It's 4s to wound, which I've got a really good roll. And then he doesn't want 1s, and he's got 1, that's what you want, just to pick 1 off. And that is brilliant, that really helps. And I'll just get 3 there. So that's 6 hits. And you managed to get 2 more. Wounds, if he gets a 1, you'll be lucky. No, that's fine. So, but that's mission accomplished. You wanted to knock 1 Terminator off, that helps. So, the Wraithlords charge in. This one here, easily in. And the other one, easily in as well. So in they go. Your opponent reacts. So, Thunderhammers. They're a nasty weapon to fight against, but he's going to go last. You're going to get your attacks, and this is where the swords come in. You got 2 attacks, and then 1 for charging, and the same with this guy. Because you got your swords, you're re-rolling to hit. So that one's all hit, and this one you got to miss, re-roll. Brilliant. So you've now got 6 hits, strength 10, 2 1s, but you've still got that, and it's in the runs now that he needs to make a 3+. There you go. There's a wipeout. So that just shows you the potential that the Wraithlords have. Give him another go. Yeah, he saved 2 and lost 2 in this scenario. He's stationary, Sergeant's going to hit you back. He's failed, and the other guy, he's got a hit, no wound. So that shows you that Wraithlords working together can happily take on pretty much anyone. I mean, that could be light infantry, you would have ripped them apart with the flamers and then mopped up the rest. Space Marines, standard Space Marines, you would have murdered those. And any kind of monstrous creature, you can quite happily take them on. Vehicles as well, with your stomp attack, you can smash through any armour that there is at strength 10, plus 2d6. I rate them very highly as a unit, so I'd encourage you to take them in your army. Take 2 or 3 and you will do well. Thanks for watching the tutorial, the Tactica, and tune in next time for more videos. Check out my channel. Check out my channel for painting tutorials and unit showcases. If you want to see these units up close in HD, then you can check those out on my channel as well. Thanks for watching.